In the years after World War II, Britain stood at a crossroads. The empire was shrinking, cities were rebuilding from ash, and the world was being reshaped by technology at a speed never seen before. Across the Atlantic, rockets thundered into the sky. Across the Iron Curtain, steel towers rose from frozen steppes. Space was no longer science fiction. It was power. It was prestige. It was a future. Britain refused to be left behind. Quietly, deliberately, and with a stubborn sense of independence, the United Kingdom began to design its own path to space. Not as loud as America, not as secretive as the Soviet Union, but determined. Engineers worked in converted aircraft factories and government research labs, drafting blueprints for a rocket that would carry a British satellite into orbit using British technology alone. Its name was simple, almost modest. Black Arrow, to the public. It barely existed. No parades, no grand speeches. But to the men and women behind the project, it represented something immense. Proof that Britain could still stand among the great technological powers of the world. This was not about conquest. It was about capability. And time was running out. Black Arrow was born in the 1960s, an era vibrating with ambition and anxiety. Nuclear weapons loomed over global politics, and space had become the ultimate demonstration of national strength. Britain already had experience with missiles and experimental launch vehicles, but turning those ideas into an orbital rocket was an entirely different challenge. The rocket was elegant in its simplicity, 3 stages, slender, efficient, purpose-built. Its engines were developed from the earlier Black Knight program, which had already proven Britain could master high-altitude rocketry. Engineers refined combustion chambers, fuel systems, and guidance controls with meticulous care. Every bolt mattered. Every gram counted. Unlike the massive rockets of the United States and the Soviet Union, Black Arrow was compact. It wasn't designed to carry astronauts or heavy payloads. Its mission was precise, to place small scientific satellites into low Earth orbit. Quiet science, not spectacle. But politics crept in where equations ruled. Funding was tight. Deadlines slipped. Government officials questioned the value of an independent British launch system when allies already offered access to space. The engineers felt the pressure daily, knowing that one failure could end everything. Still, they pressed on, because this rocket wasn't just metal and fuel. It was pride forged into aluminum and steel. Between 1969 and 1971, Black Arrow flew 4 times. Each launch took place far from Britain's crowded skies, at the Woomera test range in South Australia. The outback stretched endlessly, red earth meeting white sky, an unlikely gateway to space. Kangaroos watched from a distance as engineers assembled a machine meant to leave the planet entirely. The first launches were tests. Nerve-wracking, precise, unforgiving. Failures occurred. Adjustments were made. Confidence wavered, then steadied. Engineers learned, refined, corrected. Every launch was a lesson written in fire. Then came October 28, 1971. Black Arrow lifted from the launch pad, engines roaring, slicing through the sky with perfect clarity. Stage by stage, it performed exactly as designed. Above Earth's atmosphere, it released its payload, Prospero, Britain's first and only satellite launched by a British rocket. Britain had done it. A fully independent orbital launch. A technological triumph. A quiet victory that should have changed everything. But even as Prospero circled the Earth, a decision made far from the launch site sealed Black Arrow's fate. The program was canceled. Britain had reached space and immediately stepped away from it. After the final launch, the remaining Black Arrow hardware was left behind in Australia. Some components were scrapped. Others were forgotten. One complete rocket, never flown, remained where it stood, slowly surrendering to heat, wind, and time. For decades, it sat in silence. The Australian outback is merciless. Paint peels. Metal corrodes. History erodes grain by grain. Few people knew what it was. Fewer still understood its significance. To most, it was just another relic from the Cold War, another machine left behind when priorities shifted. But history has a way of resurfacing. In the 21st century, interest in Black Arrow returned. Historians, engineers, and space enthusiasts began to ask uncomfortable questions. Why had Britain abandoned its launch capability just as it succeeded? What had been lost, not just technologically, but culturally? And then came an extraordinary decision. In 2019, after years of planning, the abandoned Black Arrow was retrieved from the Australian outback, carefully disassembled, preserved, and transported halfway across the world. It was brought home, not to London, not to a flashy space center, but to Pennacook, Scotland, a quiet place fitting for a rocket that never sought applause. The restoration was meticulous. Engineers treated the rocket not as scrap, but as a national artifact. Every component told a story of innovation, of compromise, of ambition restrained by politics. Visitors stood before it in awe. This slender machine had reached space when computers filled rooms and calculations were done by hand. It had flown without modern materials, without digital guidance systems, without the luxury of endless funding, and it had succeeded. Black Arrow now stood as a reminder of what Britain once achieved and what it chose to leave behind. For some, it sparked pride. For others, regret. For younger generations, curiosity. What if the program had continued? What if Britain had remained a launch nation? What innovations never happened because this one succeeded too quietly? The rocket did not answer. It simply stood there, tall and silent. Today, Britain is returning to space in new ways. Commercial launch sites, private companies, international partnerships. The future looks busy, ambitious, and loud, but Black Arrow remains unique. It is the only British satellite launcher ever to reach orbit using a British-built rocket. One success, one satellite. One moment when Britain stood alone in space. Its legacy is not failure. It is proof. Proof that the capability existed. Proof that independence was possible. Proof that history does not always reward achievement. Black Arrow's journey did not end in orbit. It ended in memory. And memory, once restored, has power. As visitors stand before it in Scotland, they don't just see a rocket. They see a question, hovering like Prospero once did above the Earth. What might have been, and what could still be. Because sometimes the most important journeys are not the ones that go furthest into space, but the ones that remind us who we once were and who we might become again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed exploring the wonders of our universe, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends who love the stars too. Tap the bell icon so you never miss a journey through the cosmos. Keep looking up and stay curious.